Welcome to Ms.Shortcut, your brief, trendy, straight-to-the-point channel for smart insights and powerful stories. In today's video, we're diving into the story of China, from ancient dynasties and battles with Turkic empires, to Mao Zedong's revolution, and its rise as the world's second-largest economy. Let's explore how this ancient civilization became a modern superpower. China. With over 3,000 years of written history, once shielded behind its Great Wall, now a global giant reshaping the world stage. But how did it get here? Ancient foundations before 221 BCE. China's roots stretch back to the earliest recorded dynasties, the Shang and the Zhou. But by the 3rd century BCE, a powerful and centralized empire emerged, the Qin dynasty. It was during this time that one of the most iconic structures in the world began construction, the Great Wall of China. The wall wasn't just a monument. It was a military defense against fierce nomadic tribes from the north, including the Xiongnu, known in Western histories as the Huns. These Turkic tribes posed a real threat to the empire's northern frontier. The wall symbolized China's desire for stability, order, and protection against foreign influence, a theme that continues to this day. Over centuries, dynasties rose and fell, Han, Tang, Song, Ming, Qing, each adding to the culture, science, trade, and military legacy of the country. China developed paper, gunpowder, the compass, and movable printing, all long before Europe's Renaissance. The great philosopher Confucius who has affected the roots of China, and he argues that the states that has lost the trust of society can't stay alive. Isolation and Western pressure 221 BCE 1949. Despite its achievements, China maintained a belief in its cultural superiority. During the Ming and Qing periods, it became increasingly isolationist, limiting foreign trade and contact. During the isolation period, they invented gunpowder, paper, compasses, tea, silk, while Europe and the rest of the world didn't use them. Later, one of these points gave its name to the main trade road, called the Silk Road, and this name is still in use. But in the 19th century, Western powers shattered that isolation. The Opium Wars against Britain forced China to open its ports under humiliating treaties like the Treaty of Nanjing. It lost Hong Kong, faced foreign occupation in key cities, and entered a period of deep decline known as the Century of Humiliation. This period planted the seeds for revolutionary change. Mao and the Communist Revolution. In 1949, after years of civil war, Mao Zedong and the Communist Party declared the founding of the People's Republic of China. This was the beginning of a radical transformation. Mao aimed to eliminate feudalism, capitalism, and traditional culture. But his policies came at great human cost. The Great Leap Forward, 1958–62, meant to modernize agriculture and industry, caused one of the deadliest famines in history. Tens of millions died. Later, the Cultural Revolution, 1966–76, purged intellectuals and enemies of the revolution, further damaging China's development. Despite these tragedies, the Communist Party solidified its control, laying the foundation for the next era of reform. Economic reform and opening up 1978–1990. After Mao's death, Deng Xiaoping came to power in 1978. He famously said, "It doesn't matter if a cat is black or white, as long as it catches mice." With that, China began embracing market reforms. Special economic zones like Shenzhen were created to attract foreign investment. China opened its doors to global trade while maintaining Communist Party control over politics. The result? Explosive growth. From the 1980s through the 2000s, China lifted hundreds of millions out of poverty and became the world's factory. China's global rise 2000–2010. In 2001, China joined the World Trade Organization, integrating deeper into the global economy. This fueled the rise of Chinese megacities, tech companies, and infrastructure projects. By the 2010s, China launched the Belt and Road Initiative, a $1 trillion infrastructure plan across Asia, Africa, and Europe. It wasn't just about trade, it was about expanding China's global influence. Tech giants like Alibaba, Tencent, and Huawei began competing globally. China moved from imitation to innovation, leading in 5G, AI, and even space exploration. Trade war, global tensions, 2012 to present. But China's rise hasn't been without friction. In 2018, the U.S., under President Donald Trump, launched a trade war with China, accusing it of unfair trade practices and intellectual property theft. Tariffs were imposed on billions in goods. Then came the tech war, with restrictions on Chinese firms like Huawei and bans on apps like TikTok in some countries. The U.S. also began limiting China's access to advanced semiconductors and AI chips. Tensions also grew over Taiwan, South China Sea militarization, and human rights issues in Xinjiang and Hong Kong. The world began to speak of decoupling, an effort to reduce reliance on China for critical technologies and manufacturing. China's current landscape. Under President Xi Jinping, China has become more centralized, nationalist, and assertive. She abolished term limits and emphasized common prosperity, a campaign to reduce inequality and control private wealth. China is also navigating serious challenges. A shrinking workforce due to the former one-child policy. Youth unemployment. A real estate debt crisis, like Evergrande. Global pushback on its international influence. Yet, it's doubling down on self-reliance, investing in AI, electric vehicles, green energy, and creating new alliances, particularly with Russia, Iran, and BRICS plus nations. The road ahead. So, what's next for China? It's at a crossroads, caught between global economic integration and geopolitical confrontation. Its ambitions are clear: to lead in tech, challenge the U.S. in global influence, and shape a multipolar world. But its path is complex. Internal pressures, international skepticism, and demographic decline could slow its rise. Still, its resilience and strategic planning make it a key player in shaping the 21st century. Some argue that the U.S. is a so-called boss of the world. The new boss is China. When they released the DeepSeek AI programs, they were able to hit the U.S. markets seriously. Is the boss changed? China's journey from warring empire to global economic titan is nothing short of extraordinary. But its story is far from over. With its large population and labor force, its accumulated and established production capacity, its new face as the imitator to the game changer in production quality, its automotive industry, its rapid and drastic entry into the EV market, its rivalry in AI and space research. China is the problem boy for the world's big bosses.